funds. It's like your bank account. You may be a great person. That's one thing. That's your mindset. What you have in your bank is something different.
Correct.
But the
So do
question you asked about the positive thinking, I want to just get back to that because
okay.
that's a profound tool. How you think reflects where you're going. But a positive thought, a thought is like a seed. Okay. It's not enough just to have the thought. That seed, I had a chance to go to Egypt and I went in King Tut's tomb. When they opened King Tut's tomb after 3,000 years, they found seeds. Those same seeds, and they took them and put them in good soil and put water on them, they would grow. But positive thinking is like a seed. For you to really benefit from it, it has to be put in the proper soil. For example, the soil of somebody who cares about you. When I talk to a lot of young people, I've taught in some of the middle schools, and we brought our program, our book and whatnot, into the middle schools and the high schools. And one of the things we find is that I can give you a positive thought of potential, what you can be. But if you don't have a guidance counselor, if you don't have somebody who believes in you, who is in a position to help you move to the next level, it can be challenging. You remember in the movie Malcolm X? I don't know if did you all see that movie?
Yeah, starring Denzel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know when he was in school and he told the teacher he wanted to be a lawyer? She said, "Oh, no, your kind can't be a lawyer. You need to be a mechanic. You need to learn how to do something with your hand." So he had a positive thought, but it was in a negative environment. Can you imagine how his life would have been different if he had a teacher that said, "Man, that's a good idea. You're very talented. You're well spoken. Yeah, let me help you. Let me. You need to be taking this class, and that class, and maybe your family is poor. Let me see what kind of resources I can get to help you all out because I think you have true potential." So it's not just the thought, but it's also the seed, the fertility, the environment in which the thought is had. That can then either bring the thought into fruition or it can put the thought to bed.
Okay. All right. So you also mentioned what was the other thing? It was in the 3 steps. What was the last one? And
Yeah,
it was SQR.
SQR, the 3R, SQ3R is a
Okay.
read it, review
Okay.
it, and recite it.
Recite it. So
Recite
when
it.
you said that, it made me think of this term. I don't know if you ever heard of like Google brain, where a generation of people aren't able to retain things that they don't believe or deem important if they feel like they can Google it. Do you think there's a way for people to just like, is that just like how it is, or is there a way to train yourself out of it if you are familiar with the term Google brain?
Oh, I'm familiar with the term because that's basically what I was saying, that when people can Google all the way, they don't feel the need to retain it. And so the R says when you recite it, you got it in your own brain. You don't have to go ask nobody. If you got to Google brain it, you never have any internal knowledge. And the long-term danger that I see is that the brain is just like any other muscle. If Muhammad Ali didn't train, he wouldn't be able to do a good fight. If you don't use your muscles, many of you sound like very vibrant young men. You may go to the gym and build your bodies up, but if you stop going, that flab is going to come. Similarly, if you lose your ability to retain information, and memory is a skill, you learn how to remember, you practice memory. If you lose that ability to retain information, eventually you won't be able to remember doodly. And
Facts.
I fear that's what's going to happen with Google Brain.
I think,
That's a fact.
well, I agree with it. I see too many people who are, I guess for lack of a better term, satisfied with Google Brain because to them, they see no real merit in learning something that they can just look up. But as you already, recited, looking up is not retaining. Looking up is not knowledge. That's just saying what you see. If you
And
were
then,
dealing with
yeah,
someone, sorry, I apologize.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just to cap that off. One day somebody might turn the computer off. It's like you go into a McDonald's. I was in a club in New York once, and my daughter's a singer. She was performing, and I was ready to go. She finished her show. I'm ready. I was like, "Bring me a check." Nobody came. I said, "Bring me a check." So finally, a lady comes over. She said, "Oh, sir," she said, the computer's not working. I'm like, "So what? I want to leave." I said, "Just figure it out." She said, "We don't know how to figure it out." I said, "Bring me the menu." Okay. I got the menu. I added it up. I said, "What's the tax rate?" She said, 7%. Add 7%. I said, "That's what I owe you. Let me pay you." She said, "Sir, we have a bunch of bills over here. Could you do that here?" So I helped them out. But the point was, when the machine went down, they had lost the skills of adding, the basic arithmetic skills. And so with this Google brain, when the machines go down, then you're out of luck. And then with the Google brain, the answers you get when you ask a query Google, where are those answers coming from? In this age today of artificial intelligence and people doing be everything, pretty soon somebody can give you an answer that might not make sense, might even be bad for you. And if you
Misinformation.
have not, yeah, and if you don't have the ability to think and critically say, "Hey, this guy said drink arsenic," I don't think that's a good idea. you know,
Not at
that
all.
it can be real problematic in the future.
I agree. I
Yeah, I
agree.
definitely agree there. They
Yeah,
should have
I'm
gone down
another
to
good
Waffle
person.
House.
Drinking bleach
I
though.
have a
That's cool.
question for you. You said you were a lawyer, right? You talked about the biases in law, and you brought up the point of AI. Do you think that AI would serve us better as a judge than an actual person with biases?
That's a powerful question because biases work positive, like biases work negative. A computer will look at a case and say, "You stole the money." Okay. They found the money in your shoe and you're guilty. And there's no bias. That's just the cold hard facts. Then a judge who has compassion may say, "You stole the money. They find the money in your shoe. Why did you steal the money?" "Because my mother was sick. He needed medicine. Because my three baby brothers had no food." A judge with compassion might say, "I'll tell you what, okay, I'm I'm gonna give you probation, okay, or maybe even just a judge with real compassion knows how just being in the judicial system." I've seen judges say, "Look, man, um, let me introduce you to a work program. Send you over to Manpower, okay? Let me make a referral to social services. You shouldn't be in here. This is not a criminal. This is a man trying to feed his family." And I don't know the computer can do that. So the biases work both ways. Like one judge might say, "The brother stole it. He's in his shoe. Send him away forever."
Well, I mean, okay, sorry to cut you off. On that note, then, do you think that okay, let's weigh the options of those biases, right? How often does the judge do that, right? And do that for a person of color versus
If you're rich
them
and black,
using yeah, if you're rich, right? So is it really benefiting us to have that option, to have like that? Are we just scared of the next level of saying, "Hey, I'm gonna take myself out of this because I know that I can't do this properly"? And in my opinion, watching different judge shows, looking at different cases, I'm no lawyer, right?
Mhm.
But I do think that there is something broken in our legal structure, and what's broken in
Absolutely.
it, I think what's broken is the laws. And I think if you bring in an AI judge, right, then you can see, hey, these laws are broken. This isn't fair. This isn't right. And then we can start fixing the laws because as long as we leave the system with these biases, I don't think anything's going to get fixed. We're just going to be shuffling judges around like a shuffleboard with no end in sight, right? To no avail, when we really need to be fixing a broken system, right? And I think that AI judges would help push that a little bit further.
I'll just say this: AI is no better than the person who programs. Artificial intelligence does not come from God, it comes from man who programs it with the different algorithms. And the same prejudices that people have in real life can impart right into the program.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
long, yes. So it's something to think about. That always, artificial intelligence is created by people, and that those programs can incorporate the same biases that people, just like you want to get a good judge, you also want to get a good programmer when it's somebody dealing with people's lives and with people's futures.
I feel like that's a candlestick burner on both ends situation. I don't mean that your argument is bad by any means. It's accurate. What I do question is, as you said, if we can't question or if we don't take into account that the person who's making the or working on the AI, even if it's a group, may have nefarious intent, then that could be taken as, oh, it's a computer. They only work within the confines they were given. They were given fair confines. So what you feel is unfair is not really unfair. That's just you not being able to deal with reality.
Mm-hmm.
But as you said, everything made by man was in fact made by man. So if you
Yeah.
if you provide the people with this this artificial feeling of absolution that at least the computer will be correct, then it'll just give the people in power who are behind the money that's behind the people that program said AI a way to control the system. And it may end up just creating the exact same system with more technological steps.
With less, you see, I don't know how to program compassion. All judges are not racist. There have been many judges, black and white. I've seen them look at a young man and his potential, or look at a young woman, her potential, and say, hey, let me give you another chance. Let me give you another shot. I've seen that work both ways. And compassion is the thing that makes judges really human beings. When judges lose their compassion, then they act just like computers. I don't know how to program compassion into a computer. And I don't know how you can program compassion into AI. And justice and dealing with the court system, it must have compassion. And if you don't have compassion, then all it looks is the facts. You stole it, you broke it, we caught you, and the sentencing says 25 to life. Goodbye.
So I have a question. It sounds like you just said that compassion or a court system without compassion is not a good court system. Would
Right.
that be me taking that out of context?
Oh, you're absolutely right. A court system that's without compassion is not a good court system.
Well, I mean, that was actually, I just wanted confirmation that that was in fact what you meant, but you said it plainly there. If we look at a court system, and this is just, obviously napkin talk, if you will, but if there was a way to measure or at least see without a shadow of a doubt in a certain time period that a judge was completely without compassion, do you think that there is or should be a way to deal with said judge, or is that just kind of part of the game, if you know what I mean?
I always believe in review process. Nobody's nobody's perfect, and nobody stays the same. There are a lot of people who start out right, and when their conditions change in their life, they go wrong. They start out on the right, they go left. So I think there should be a review system, judges, anybody in a position to deal with people's lives, people's freedom. There should always be some kind of oversight. In the appellate courts, that's what the courts of appeals are all about. That, that a judge can make a wrong decision. Hopefully, you have a lawyer who files a notice of appeal. They appeal to a case to a bigger group. If you notice, when you appeal cases, you go to like a group of judges, which is designed to sort of take it out of the one judge format. Like you say, maybe that judge was wrong, maybe that judge was prejudiced. Now you go to an appellate court, which is a court that reviews the judges. And so that already exists right now. And the appellate court can review that judge's decision. And you hear this decision was reversed. They sent it back for a new trial. So that process is in place. But, I think it can definitely be improved.
Okay, so let's say that person got that compassion and I'm out and I get your book, and it's time to change my life because I was given a choice. What would be the first steps you recommend for a person like that? That would just be for any person. The first steps to change your life.
Well, I tell you, a lot of my books, I did a workshop yesterday on using the 12. My book is called The 12 Universal Laws of Success. It's on all the platforms.